Welcome back to Twice Born Truth. The video I have for you today is one that I believe shows clear signs of the times we're in and just how close we are to the end. I don't have words for those who lost loved ones in any of this footage other than God be with you. Pray for faith, pray for grace. I'm not sure what can be said to take away any of your pain. God has a plan, and we just have to believe that His will is what's right for us all. What I'm going to present today are videos proving that we are truly in the birth pains, the beginning of sorrows. I've made other videos on it, but these are videos of some of the more tragic events that are taking place right now and how things are becoming more and more rapid, how the birth pains are becoming more frequent. We are closer to the rapture. We are closer to the tribulation. At the end of the day, the choice is really yours. Wake up.
It started with rain, nothing unusual. A forecast for storms, the kind Texas has seen before, but in the dead of night, under clouds blacker than ink, the skies opened up, and within hours, a peaceful hill country river turned into a monstrous torrent. By dawn on July 4th, more than 50 people were dead, many of them children at a summer camp. Camp Mystic, a Christian retreat nestled along the Guadalupe River, became a nightmare. Bunk beds were ripped apart, teddy bears covered in mud, a girl's sandal caught in a tree branch 15 feet above ground. The flood didn't just kill, it erased. So how did it happen, and why wasn't anyone prepared? The answers lie in a perfect storm of science, geography, and failure. Texas Hill Country is beautiful, but deadly. It's part of what scientists call Flash Flood Alley, a crescent-shaped stretch of land known for its steep hills, thin soil, and rapid runoff. When rain hits here, it doesn't sink in, it flows, and fast. A rare atmospheric phenomenon developed, a mesoscale convective vortex, a swirling pocket of air about 30 miles wide. It grabbed moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and hurled it inland like a fire hose. One after another, training thunderstorms struck the same area again and again. Over 1.8 trillion gallons of rain fell on the Edwards Plateau in just a few hours. That's 4 months of rain in a single night. National Weather Service did issue alerts. Flood watches were posted Thursday afternoon, but their models predicted 3 to 5 inches of rain, not 10, not 18. By the time flash flood warnings hit phones at 1:14 a.m., it was already too late for many.
No warnings at all. They came hours later, which was the most devastating part. We got the warnings on our phones hours later. The destruction had already been done before the warnings came out.
At Camp Mystic, parents say the floodwaters came in darkness. A wall of water smashed through cabins while kids slept. Counselors shouted. Some tried to swim. At least 27 girls are still missing. So why is this happening more often and more violently? Scientists point to one cause: climate change.
Now that's where I want to stop this video real quick. And so you've heard their scientific explanation now a couple times. This is a flood alley. They're gonna say climate change is the reason for this particular event. And yes, there may be some changes in the climate, maybe. If so, it's because it's God's prophecy being fulfilled, period. Another thing I wanted you to recognize is that where they call this Flood Alley, they also mention how they've never seen anything like this before. Shoot, I don't even have words really for those parents of those girls at a Christian camp, other than if they are gone, they will be with their Father. They will be with you again soon in paradise. And Jesus said there will be earthquakes in diverse places. Yes, this is on the Ring of Fire, but I want you to read clearly the bottom of the screen. Over 1,000 earthquakes since June 21st of this year. Don't you love the one-eye symbolism in their supposed prophet? Look at that. Even now, during these times, the occultists are finding their way in to the situation to spread their signs, which to me really speaks to a whole nother thing. The Antichrist is coming. This group that secretly governs the world is preparing for him, and they have their hands in everything. Some of that footage that you just seen was obviously from 2011. The earthquake, I'm pretty sure, that damaged that nuclear reactor, which really just leads me to the point that this has been a growing or a coming event, just as described in the Bible as birth pains. It's hard to say exactly when it started, this birth of the tribulation to come. I've even referenced 9/11, so 2001 as being a potential beginning point, although I guess we could take it back centuries, and it's just becoming more and more rapid. The amount of events now that are taking place, though, are unprecedented and back to back. it is becoming clearly more frequent.
Kesana semua. Lari, lari deh, kabur deh. Kenapa lagi mereka ke bawah? Oi, kabur sudah. Kenapa lari ke bawah lagi? Jangan, jangan foto. Ini ambil video. Miskin, berapa ribu? Coba saya lihat CCTV di sana.
Look at the scale of this eruption. And I've tried to find events that were spread out across the globe intentionally so that you can see this is a global reckoning. Floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. We'll move on to the next topic here. Wars and rumors of wars.
Russia has launched yet another furious barrage on Ukraine's heartland, targeting civilians and military infrastructure alike. The latest assault battered the cities of Kharkiv and Pokrovsk, leaving bloodied streets, burning ruins, and terrified survivors. These are the latest images from the devastation caused in Kharkiv.
I was having breakfast at the time, then I heard it flying. I woke my wife and goddaughter up and took them to the bathroom. I stood behind the partition wall and then there was an explosion. Glass shattered and the windows were blown off. Then there was another explosion, followed by a number of smaller ones under my windows. There were some small fireballs. I don't know what they were.
The Ukrainian president says Russia fired over 1,000 drones and more than 1,200 aerial bombs last week, while pleading its Western partners for more air defense systems. Russian forces are also making steady inroads on the front lines. In a rare strategic gain, Moscow claims it has captured a village in Dnipropetrovsk region, marking its first confirmed advance in this territory. Analysts fear it may serve as a springboard to deeper incursions in Ukraine's industrial southeast. These aren't symbolic strikes anymore, they're part of a new front. Russian strikes hit two recruitment centers, an ominous sign of Russia's intent to disrupt Ukraine's mobilization efforts and further strain its dwindling manpower. Russian ballistic missiles have caused death and destruction in Odessa. Ukraine is refusing to crumble. In a dramatic escalation of the Black Sea battle, Ukrainian forces have launched daring strikes targeting key Russian assets. The Russian-controlled port of Novorossiysk in Krasnodar Krai was targeted in the attack. With Ukraine still grappling with critical shortages of ammunition and air defense systems, the current wave of strikes, coupled with consistent ground advances and targeted hits on vital recruitment infrastructure, signals a dire phase in the conflict. The war's brutality escalates.
I want to take a minute at this point to beg for protection for any that can be spared of this beginning of sorrows, Lord, that no unnecessary loss of life occurs. I know that a lot of this is created by man's sin, and I ask for your protection and ultimately your will be done. This is an attack on Israel from Iran or one of the proxies. This has been a constant event for, I guess you could say, months now. As I shared in a previous video, literally tens of thousands of missiles and rockets and drones have been fired at Israel. If it weren't for God's protection and the Iron Dome, which He gave to Israel, the civilian loss would be uncountable. I want to emphasize how bad this just this one attack would have been without those protective measures on civilians, on the innocent, targeted blatantly and blindly. I mean, they don't care if they're hitting schools, hospitals, churches, they don't care if they're hitting their own mosques. But the Iron Dome is good at what it does, as well as American Patriot missile defense systems, and who knows what else. The reason I share that is for the purpose of the next video. Now this is Israel hitting back. Now, Israel's goal was to clearly cripple the military capabilities of Iran and their ability to create a nuclear weapon. I believe that Iran let this bit of footage out, and really only this that I've seen, where explosions hit near what looks like, where we can't really support too much, being not too much information has been released about this, but civilian area. If this is the only example, imagine what would have happened to Israel had they not had the Iron Dome defense system. I want you to keep that in mind. All the same, we're looking at birth pains. Wake up. Again, prophecy being fulfilled.
Are you serious? Are you seriously serious? The burning of the red heifer. Behind me is an actual photograph of the burning of one of the 5 red heifers. This is a stunning development taking place. It was in Shiloh. I've been there. I've been right there to Shiloh. This is where the first red heifer was sacrificed by Aaron and Moses. Actually, by Aaron. But Aaron was the one that actually performed it because he was the high priest. I'm going to tell you what's just happened and how this is a prophecy alert.
So they've done a mock sacrifice on one of the heifers that has been disqualified to prepare for the next eventual step, the true sacrifice of an unblemished red heifer to prepare for the building of the third temple, which, if you hear this after that is done, know that I only know it because it's from the Bible and it's prophecy that will be fulfilled.
So this one qualifies as to be the first sacrifice of a rebuilt temple.
Yes, I take it. Yes.
After years of waiting, a perfect red heifer has finally been selected. A perfect heifer without a single blemish. Now, the ceremony of the red heifer is prepared by Jewish priests or Kohanim to burn the red heifer. The ashes from this ceremony were once used to help people become spiritually clean and prepared to enter holy spaces. Israel today witnessed the long-anticipated red heifer purification ceremony, drawing huge spectators, religious pilgrims, and international media.
דוד, הרב יואל שוורץ, ראש ישיבת בר ירושלים, אב בית דין בסנהדרין וראש בית דין לבני נוח, הרב ישראל אריאל, יושב ראש מכון המקדש.
Rabbi Azaria Ariel stated in an interview that many news outlets have reported all the red heifers as disqualified, which is not entirely accurate. A single white hair may disqualify a heifer, but we currently have 5 heifers under consideration. In 2023, 1 red heifer was disqualified. Then in 2024, 2 more were disqualified, leaving us with 2 remaining. Just a month ago, one of them was selected as the perfect heifer. But we've learned a valuable lesson. Even a perfect heifer can grow a white hair and become disqualified. At the same time, a previously disqualified heifer may lose that white hair, potentially making it kosher again. That's why the selection process must be handled with great care before any are chosen for sacrifice. But the hope is there, as we still have time before the sacrifice. Right now, everything has been in place. We just need government permission, and then the first cornerstone will take place.
It's a purpose of Beis HaMikdash. That's why we decided to do this kind of style. We made it a cornerstone. It has 2 sides of a finished nice style. It can be the first stone for the Binyan Beis HaMikdash Be'ezrat Hashem.
This man is not building the cornerstone alone. Former Knesset member Moshe Feiglin was filmed with the man near the town of Eli carving stones intended for the future Third Temple. With a hammer and chisel, Feiglin said a sincere prayer. He asked that just like the stones are shaped to honor God, people too would be shaped to live together in unity and stay faithful so that we can rebuild the Third Temple. Moshe Feiglin is very committed in building the Third Temple. He wants to restore Jewish sovereignty over the Temple Mount and rebuilding the temple as a central pillar of Jewish identity. In one video, he was saying that if he were the Prime Minister of Israel, he would build the Third Temple right away. From his statement, we can learn that the government has a vital role in rebuilding the temple.
Am Yisrael Chai.
With political tension rising and pressure from religious groups growing, Prime Minister Netanyahu starts feeling pushed to strengthen Israel's national identity. At a key meeting with ultra-Orthodox leaders and Temple Mount activists, he's shown data that many of his supporters connect deeply with prophetic ideas and want ancient traditions to return. Netanyahu begins to see the idea of rebuilding the Third Temple not just as a religious dream, but as something that could unite the nation. Right now, many Jews believe they are living in a historic moment. There is growing support for rebuilding the Third Temple, with both Jewish communities and evangelical Christians praying for it to happen soon.
There's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
Groups like the Temple Institute and the Temple Mount Faithful have worked tirelessly to prepare for its construction. Some believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu quietly supports rabbis who are pushing for the temple.
That Netanyahu has actually privately been funding some of the push through the rabbis around this conversation of building a third temple.
And with Donald Trump back in office, many feel the path to the Third Temple is wide open, as he has promised strong support for Israel.
President Trump is advancing a prophetic process that will usher in, when the time comes, the rebuilding of the Third Temple.
When that temple's built, one more prophecy will be fulfilled, and it will happen. So the group of verses I'm about to share back up the prophecy of the building of the Third Temple and what the son of perdition, aka the Antichrist, will do once that's been done. In 2 Thessalonians, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except the falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now, I spoke about that falling away in my last video. You should watch it for the prophecies surrounding that and how we're seeing this falling away in the church and this blasphemy taking place in the pulpits of the church. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Which, of course, is describing the Antichrist. I want to switch gears, though, and talk about something that took place earlier. Now, the man that I had showed earlier in this video, who was chiseling what he called the perfect cornerstone, was very wrong about that being the cornerstone. For that position was taken. And I have Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20 here to prove it. And are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. Now let me show you why.
אמרת תיחרוס בית קדיש ותבנה לפתלת יומין לקהל מרד מן צלווה. הנחו משיח אנא אמר ירודו מן צלווה דינקדזה ונהמין.
אבא, יש מקום. אולי תנמור. תיאבתין.
שמע, יצלה אלק ולק. לנה משפט גזמש ולהו אבל واحد باكر هالمشبات هن تشبت عني هن صديق به اشعل هذا تقول لي هذولي بس ما نادي تريد
Malak. Eu mato na terruinha.
So to give you a bit more information on what you just seen, the thief who was attacked by the crow had mocked Jesus prior to the thief who asked for forgiveness. I wanted to back this scene up with the scripture I took from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 23, verses 39 to 43. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us. But the other criminal rebuked him. Don't you fear God, he said, since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve, but this man has done nothing wrong. Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus answered him, truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise.
bruciato!
Now, I need to add a little bit more to explain what you have just witnessed in that last clip. A point where you see a Roman soldier approach Jesus with a maul, a giant hammer, essentially. And he was going to break the leg bones, which was common practice during crucifixion. It says, in crucifixion, breaking the legs of a victim was a method used to hasten death by asphyxiation. Crucified individuals could use their legs to push up, relieving some pressure on their chest and allowing them to breathe. By breaking the legs, made it impossible to relieve the chest and lungs, causing rapid suffocation. So it essentially hastened the end, let's say. So this fulfills two previous prophecies about Jesus, just two more of many. One in Psalms, chapter 34. Yeah. Again, the righteous person may have troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. He protects all his bones, and not one of them will be broken. The other prophecy that was fulfilled happened shortly after that part, where he is pierced in the side. And this is Zechariah, verse 10. And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. They will look on me, the one they have pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for a firstborn son. It's funny how you notice how the Spirit references God the Father when it says me, and then him when referencing the Son. It's because they are one in the same. Jesus was God in the flesh. So I hope you made it this far. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help me get the word out, for I really believe that we are very close to the end. I say again, if you have not accepted Christ, open up your heart. He will easily prove to you how it really is. See, we are in an age of grace. All you need to do is repent, ask for forgiveness of your sins, accept that Jesus died on the cross for those sins and rose from the dead 3 days later, and that he did all this for you. There's no greater truth than what I just shared. So wake up before it's too late.